21-year-old Andrea has the outdoor part of Survivor mastered. She was raised on a farm in Wisconsin.
I've been a member of the 4-H club since I was little. I did a lot of the animal projects, so I took horses to the fair and pigs and steers. And then that's where I made my money for college, is by selling the pigs and steers at the auction. I have a good inkling that they're underestimating me. I think a lot of them probably see me as like, oh, blonde, cute, girl next door type. I think it'll definitely surprise people that I'm outdoorsy.
Andrea is my hope to break the mold. There's a little hip-hop going on inside there, and I'm hoping that births itself out here and that she's really come to play.
I think just naturally I'm a flirty, friendly kind of person, and there's really only like 2 younger guys around my age. A lot of them are, a lot of the guys are much older, but I think if I just am my friendly, flirty self, it'll help.
Every season of Survivor is a story. There are main characters, sidekicks, comic reliefs, and villains. A good season of Survivor tells a compelling story that has you rooting for someone and against someone else in hopes that it all ends in a satisfying conclusion. Each story that we look at together will go through one character's journey from beginning to end, from the time they are introduced until they inevitably get their torch snuffed or win the game. We will look at every character moment and strategic move to determine whether they were a hero or a villain, and whether they were a good or bad strategist. And with that, welcome to Once Upon an Island. Now, for reference, we're only going to be observing what the TV show is showing us and what story is being told through the show. No future seasons will be mentioned, as the story and characters here have no idea about what happens in those future seasons. Secret scenes and behind the scenes footage may be included to flesh out the story, and all character moments and strategic moves are interpreted with the mindset of what the story is trying to tell us. And now with that,
39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor.
Here we go again. Survivor's back in Nicaragua with 16 new players, which includes Andrea Boehlke, the protagonist for our story today, a 21-year-old student from Wisconsin. But while there is 16 new players, which includes Andrea, there are also 2 returning ones. That's right, Boston Rob and Russell Hantz are back to terrorize everyone and eat up screen time. Yay! Francesca says out loud in front of everybody that they're both troublemakers. I think she might need to read How to Win Friends and Influence People, because that ain't how you do it here, Chief. Rob and Russell then draw buffs, which gets Rob sent to Andrea's tribe. But that ain't even the biggest twist this season.
There is one more twist. When you are voted out at tribal council, you will not go home.
What?
Instead, you will leave tribal council and you will be sent to Redemption Island, where you will live alone. When the next person joins you on Redemption Island, the 2 of you will square off in a duel.
What?
The winner stays, the loser is out of the game for good. At a certain point in the game, the remaining person on Redemption Island will be allowed to re-enter the game and continue their pursuit of the title of Sole Survivor and the $1 million prize.
Redemption Island does not scare me one bit. It's a vacation. Yeah, put me on that island and see what happens. Because I'm going to win the challenge, I'm going to come back, I'm going to take some heads off.
Yep, if you're voted off, then you can come right back in the game. I thought this was a bit unfair in Pearl Islands, but since everyone is told about it ahead of time here, this is more than fair. We go to Ometepe, where everyone loves Rob, and we meet Philip, who is being bossy and a know-it-all as he tries to tell everyone, which includes Andrea, how to do basic tasks that she already knows. But Andrea acknowledges this and says, whatever, I'll play along with Philip's father role persona. But that isn't all. Philip has a big secret.
I'm going to tell you something about myself that I had to debate whether or not I was going to tell you, whether or not I was going to reveal it. Okay, I'm a former federal agent. I did it for 3 separate agencies. So when I give you my word, if I say something, it's going to be my word.
I'm a former federal agent. That's right, Special Agent Shepard. That was my first and middle name for years.
The other thing is I'm an expert in analyzing people's behavior. So I can determine most of the time whether or not someone's telling me the truth or not. And that's what I'm going to be able to do when we finally merge and we get to the other side. And I'll be able to tell you, yes, that's a friend or not.
One of the best things about Philip
The comic relief that's provided by the fact that he thinks that he used to be a federal agent is like this big secret like bombshell that he has that he's holding, and you know, he would just blow everyone's mind if they knew. It's hilarious. Who cares?
The question mark next to his job title is perfection. The show is making no bones about it. You cannot take Philip Shepard seriously. Their tribe loses immunity, and back at camp, Rob tells everyone who isn't Christina, Francesca, and Philip that they're splitting their votes between Christina and Francesca, since Christina might have an idol. And of course, Francesca said the whole thing about Rob being a troublemaker. We then go to Tribal, where an all-out fight happens between Philip and Francesca, where we see Philip cannot pronounce her name correctly at all. He's a mess. So they all vote, and
Christina, I'm voting for you because it's not personal, but we need to stick to the plan, and this is a hot mess of a tribal council, and you need to be gone.
Francesca, because you're a liar and you're a devious player.
I had planned on voting for you or Boston Rob tonight, but your little crazy outburst has spared Natalie.
Man, it feels so good to play with you amateurs. You give away so much. You don't even know enough to keep your mouth shut. Thanks for the memories.
First person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Francesca, the tribe has spoken.
that is it for the premiere. And so far we've seen how Andrea is a chill country girl who hasn't really been focused on in the midst of bigger, louder, and more dramatic characters on her tribe. Did you know that Patreon is free to sign up for? Yes, that is the place where I give updates, post videos early, and have you all pick what I make now as a free option. Link in the description. You can cancel at any time, and there's a 15% discount if you do sign up for 1 year. Thank you for your support. Episode 2 sees Rob tell his group, minus Philip and Christina, that they will be the final 6. Very nice. As we saw in All Stars, Rob loves a predictable alliance that bulldozes the competition. He is not into flipping at all. Rob then says Philip is next to go, so we then witness Andrea and Matt connect, and
I'm pretty thrilled.
Me too. Me too.
You're so hardcore. I need to come hang out in Wisconsin.
Will you?
Yeah.
That is really cute and like good to look at, but you know, we're close. And I think that we have a little bit of loyalty going on.
Matt's trying to play the good guy, but Andrea knows what she wants. And if she can have her little puppy dog along for the ride, she's gonna walk him. She's gonna walk him all over this island. And for me, that's not good, because I know how strong a pair can be in this game. Like Amber and I.
Interesting that Andrea is viewed as leading Matt and not the other way around. Either way, being on Rob's radar is bad news, especially when he says that it is now not a clear-cut decision on who will be voted off next. It could be Andrea. For flirting with a guy? Wow. Rob is looking for anything to get anyone off. Just any semblance of anything goes against what he wants. They then lose immunity again, and when that occurs, Matt shakes the air team's hand. Okay, whatever, who cares, right? Wrong. Rob cares. A lot, but he tells everyone half of us are going to vote for Christina and half of us are voting for Philip. But what Andrea doesn't know is that this is the fake plan, a trick to deceive her and Matt. So they all go to vote, and
If anybody has a hidden immunity,
Jeff.
Thank you. This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast against Christina tonight will not count. First vote, Christina, does not count. Christina, does not count. Philip, 1 vote Philip. Philip, 2 votes Philip. Matt, 2 votes Philip, 1 vote Matt. Matt, we're tied. Matt. Wow. Second person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Matt. Matt, the tribe has spoken.
Rob is making it very clear. You either are a robot for him or you die. Matt got voted out over a handshake. A handshake of all things. She goes to the Redemption Island duel to see her flirtmance Matt compete, and he wins, knocking out Francesca. Rob suspects that if Matt comes back in the game, then him and Andrea will reconnect, and he cannot have that. Rob literally wants everyone on his tribe to blindly follow him like a cult. He then talks to Andrea about why she was left out of the Matt vote, and
I like you, Andrea, and I think you're a good-hearted kid, and, you know, like, I'm sorry what happened, you know, I am. And, like, if I could have thought of any other way, then I would have. But it wasn't just me. There were 4 people that were involved in it. 4 people agreed to it. 4 people talked about it. Nobody wanted to do it.
I talked to Rob, and he assured me that I'm still part of their 5, even though I have a feeling I'm probably in a really sticky position. So right now, strategically, it's smart to stay with them and make sure they don't think I'm scheming. But I just don't believe them. So I need some way I can mix things up, because, like, deep down, I'm like still really pissed about what they did. They took my good friend away.
Andrea's smart. To survive this tribe, you need to fall in line until a tribe swap or a merge. Just survive until then. Their tribe finally wins immunity, and in episode 4, Matt beats Russell Hantz at the duel. I am shocked Russell was voted out that early, but then they lose immunity, and the plan is to vote Christina out. So they all go to vote, and
4th person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Christina, tribe spoken.
Episode 5 sees Matt beat Christina in the duel, and the chances of him returning are getting greater and greater. But for now, Andrea is sticking to her role of working hard and just kind of like staying out of trouble, lest Rob wants to vote her off. We even see Ashley and Natalie just like laying around slacking off, which is fine for Rob, by the way. He doesn't care just as long as you do whatever he says. But Andrea is a hard worker. This is something Philip values, but we all know that he has no power in this tribe. Andrea does say how these girls slacking is seriously frustrating her though.
My relationship with the girls is just, there is a level of frustration that's growing a little bit, because they just don't do that much. So it's a little agitating to me, because I want to keep, getting stuff done and keep going, but I also kind of have to hang out with them, so they feel like us 3 girls are together.
I mean, some real synergy with Andrea today. And I think that maybe in the future that will hold something both for she as well as for I. So to fully understand my relationship with Rob is, the king is a dictator and I'm a lord, and I'm waiting for my opportunity to replace the king.
Their tribe wins immunity, and the next day we see another reiteration from the show about how Andrea works hard while the other girls slack off. We then witness Matt winning the next duel, but more importantly for Andrea is how she sees Krista give Matt her Bible on her way out the door. And now Andrea is jealous. She says, I didn't realize Matt was being friendly with other girls too. Matt's just being a nice dude who is also attractive. Of course he's gonna be friends with others. Their tribe wins immunity and reward, which comes with a massive feast and a great view. Episode 7 sees Matt winning yet another duel, and again, they win immunity and reward, but this time it's at a volcano. Amazing. So episode 8 is the big one for Matt and Andrea. If he wins this duel, he's back in the game. So,
Philip, give us some insight. A situation like this, what do you do to be successful?
Well, the Bushido Code was how a samurai knew how he had to conduct his life when he was facing difficult circumstances. And they had a whole strategy about the task at hand, and they shamed their feudal lord. They would have to cut themselves. That was one of the things that they looked for. They looked for you to make the first move, and then they would strike. And the Bushido Code gave them a way to live, as the Bible for Matt has given him a way to live. And I know he knows it's all up here. And as long as he keeps that focus, he'll do just fine.
Sarita drops out of the duel. Matt seizes the moment and will re-enter this game.
finally, Andrea can escape the chokehold of Rob's tribe and work with Matt to make something happen. She has been seriously hamstrung so far. You see, Ometepe has 5 people, Zapatera has 5 people left. With Andrea and Matt in the middle, they can flip this game on their head. This is their chance. Everyone then enjoys the merge feast, and we see Mike from Zapatera openly talk with Matt about him and Andrea flipping to their side. Here's the catch though. A flip obviously puts Matt and Andrea at the bottom of the Zapatera tribe, but personally, I think that they're at the bottom of their own tribe anyways. So truly, they would need to do more than just one flip to get to the end of this game in the final 3. But that first flip is the first step. So that night, Matt lays out a brilliant plan.
I want to take out the Ometepe tribe because I'm honestly at the bottom of the alliance. I was thinking like we vote Steve out and then we vote Philip out. Ometepe thinks everything's hunky-dory. And then that's when we blindside Rob.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous.
Just stop.
Right now, I'm tight with Rob and Grant, and I have to make it seem like I'm
No, so that's what I'm saying. We can only talk to each other about this.
You cannot say anything to them. I will consider that. That's a long time from now. I have no problem with like backstabbing those two because they kind of like backstabbed us in the beginning.
Yeah.
I really like Matt, but he had this idea that he wanted to blindside the Ometepe tribe. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this could be bad. It's extremely risky for me to jump ship at this point, but I'm definitely keeping my options open.
Yes, Matt, yes, that is a great idea. But here's where I'm confused. Why the heck is Andrea still wanting to stick with Rob? Am I taking crazy pills? Is she under some false impression that she's in a final 3 with him? And even if she was, does she really think she can beat him at the end of the game? I mean, come on, dude. We then see Natalie win immunity, and the cult-like status of Ometepe has taken the next step as we see them eat at different times than Zapatera from their own separate rice supply, mind you, and they literally sleep in a different location. It's almost like they never merged, they're just now living on one beach. So we then witness Matt talk to Rob and
my heart's telling me don't change. I want to honor my God and be true to who I am. So I've decided I don't want to switch, I don't want to flip. And I'm just gonna have to have peace with whatever happens. Mike was telling me, look, I have an idol for you and Andrea, him, Ralph, and Steve. And he's like, and I could use it to save you with it. And then it'd be you in the final 4. I'm like, that'd be cool. Like, I want to go as far as I can, but I'm with y'all. Like,
thanks, man. That means a lot. It really does. Matt just told me he was thinking about flipping and going with Zapatera. I mean, first of all, he has the audacity to think that he's going to come up with a plan to vote me out. And then the stupidity to tell me that. It just confirmed he can't be trusted. So because of it, I'm giving him a one-way ticket back to Redemption Island.
I came clean, told them about Mike and everything. I know, like, they wanted to bring you in, but I'm not flipping. We're not doing any of that.
Yesterday, Matt and I were like, okay, we're not telling anybody what we're planning. And now he's like throwing me under the bus to Rob. It's so stupid because like that could have sabotaged my plan to get to like the final 3 completely.
How did Matt go from a brilliant plan that would have been fun to telling Rob he will follow him like a loyal soldier? Does anyone in Ometepe actually want to win the game here? What I find even more confusing is on the Zapatera side of things. Mike seems to be the only one pitching this flip to Matt. He doesn't even talk to Andrea that we see, and we don't see anyone else in Zapatera pitching this as well. They should be all in on flipping these two. I think it would help. Rob being mad at Matt doesn't matter. If they still flip, he wouldn't have the numbers. Andrea says, Rob has done nothing but screw me all game, ruined everything I wanted to do. But on the other hand, Matt is wishy-washy. So what will I do? Well, she doesn't tell Matt that he's the new target for Rob, that's for sure. So we go to tribal council where
if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Want to play this on Mike?
Okay. This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast against Mike will not count. First vote, Grant. Steve. Grant. 2 votes, Grant. That's 3 votes, Grant. 4 votes for Grant. 5 votes for Grant. Matt. Matt. 2 votes, Matt. 3 votes, Matt. Matt. We're tied. 5 votes, Grant. 5 votes, Matt. 1 vote, Steve. 8th person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Matt. Matt, once again, the tribe has spoken.
What actually happened? I have no idea. I put my trust in God, and today God's will was contradictory to what I wanted. I like these people. I want to be friends with these people. Well, they don't want to be friends with me. And apparently I'm just not very good at this game of Survivor.
I am dumbfounded, but it isn't too late. Andrea could still flip to Zapatera by herself and change this entire game. It would still give them the numbers. She could still make a difference and set herself up as a real player in this game. So Boston Rob implements a new system.
From here on out, we don't decide who's going next until the very last minute.
Yes.
We're going to do the buddy system. Nobody talks to anybody on their own. Don't even friggin' entertain any crap with them.
No conversation about it.
No,
Guys, just the weather and
we're guaranteed to go to the final 6. I have a whole vision that I'm trying to put into action here. Keep an us versus them mentality. Thus the separate shelters, the separate eating times. I want my group to hate Zapatera. It's us versus them, and we're better than them. And we're gonna be arrogant about it, and we're gonna show it. I'm not, but I want them to. Because I want their votes at the end of the day.
Wow, the buddy system, they're really gonna do this. He wants robots, he wants loyal soldiers, and he will basically force them to do that. I don't even understand how they're all falling for this. Andrea needs to be like Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens and break free. Grant wins immunity, and Rob's new strategy is to send people to redemption that have the best chance of beating Matt. So what is Andrea's strategy? I have no idea since it isn't shown at all. So they go to vote and...
9th person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Mike, the tribe has spoken.
Game over. I am not sure Philip, Natalie, Ashley, or Grant will ever flip on Rob. So what is the game plan to win? I just went out on immunities, I guess. Rob is still going to be in the final 3 at that rate. So how are you gonna win? I haven't been this dumbfounded since Russell Hantz. What's the plan here, Andrea? What's the plan? Ralph from Zapatera even tries to talk strategy with Philip and Andrea, and they both blow him off and don't give him the time of day. We even see Julie approach Andrea in the secret scene.
I'll throw something at you guys, and I'm just gonna put in your brain. I know you're loyal because I would be the same way. I would loyal with my guys. And if you guys ever want to do a female merge, just you got my vote, so it's there for you. I don't know if you guys are just gonna let Rob win or what.
Julie approached Natalie, Ashley, and I, and she brought up having a female merge kind of alliance. And actually it probably makes sense to keep Julie around because she's not a big physical threat, as opposed to the other guys. So there was a part of me that considered what Julie had to say to us.
Sucky situation, just wrong side of the numbers because
I could see we would be really good friends.
I know. And we still will be.
Well, if you guys have any voice, can you try to keep me till the last?
We'll do our best.
We will. Because I want to be here as miserable as often as I can.
As long as we can. Let's just all stay miserable.
Ometepe tribe is so loyal, but I know the girls really like me. So I'm hoping that I'll be the last Zapatera left, and then I can start. Maybe somebody will want to start playing. Maybe somebody will start pulling out their own strategies. They need to get rid of Rob. They need to get rid of Grant. Need to get rid of those 2 strong guys.
Zapatera keeps trying and Andrea just keeps shutting them down. We're either missing a crucial piece of information or Andrea really has zero desire to win this game. At the immunity challenge, everyone cheers when David loses. Can y'all make it more obvious who the next target is? And Andrea wins immunity. So at Tribal Council, Philip tells Jeff about the buddy system, which blows his mind like it probably blew yours the first time you heard it. But what I think is really blowing Jeff's mind is that it's actually working. And Zapatera's like, yeah, it's a cult over there. True, so true. So they all go to vote and...
10th person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. David, the tribe has spoken.
If you're like me, you might be wondering, why should I be rooting for Andrea at this point? What has she done that should inspire me to root for her? Good question. So the next day we see Philip getting very angry that the divided rice supply, which I am sure was Ometepe's decision at the beginning, is biting them in the butt as Zapatera is eating a ton of their own rice since they know they only got a few days left, and Philip thinks this is unfair. They should be saving that rice for when they are all voted off and Ometepe's still here. Why? Why would Zapatera do that, Philip? Ometepe's decision to split the rice hurts them even more when they find that their supply has maggots in it. Great. Andrea kindly asks Zapatera, can you share your rice supply with us? They say no, so Philip goes off.
The other rice is perfectly fine. Our container had a leak in the bottom of it. It got wet and it molded, but the rice that's on that towel is perfectly good rice. There's nothing wrong with it.
Wouldn't it have been smart to talk about this before you dumped it all out, Philip?
No, but I don't want to have that debate with you. You know what? I've asked unless you walk with that can, the first opportunity I have to take that can and hide it, I will. And you will come ask me for the rights. I'm a very reasonable person to deal with. You don't want to deal with things reasonable?
You're a lunatic.
I know I am, but that's your perception. Anytime somebody of my color gets up in one of your faces, then you feel like I'm a lunatic, I'm crazy.
Oh, he just brought in the race car. Really?
I remember I'm the chief of counterintelligence. Wing Chun Kung Fu expert here. Steve feels like he's better than me, you know, and I think it has some slight racial undertones to it. They're the ones that go to the next level to you're crazy. When he said that, I go, don't forget that. I am crazy. I just noticed that every single time I make an issue with the people of the former Zapatella tribe, suddenly a guy who was able to become a federal agent in 3 separate agencies suddenly becomes crazy. You now call me crazy. You are crazy. Every time I make an argument, suddenly I'm crazy. And that's what happens. With some white folks, they like to take a black man and make him crazy when he makes an argument that you don't want to hear. And you know what I got to say with that? Right there, buddy.
I don't mind so much him picking on the other tribe, but you can just see that once they're gone, that old Philip's coming back.
Wow, that escalated so quickly, and I edited a bunch of things out. I mean, I had to condense that hard. Good on Zapatera to stick to their own guns. Ometepe would not help them if they were in the same situation. Boston Rob wins immunity and at Tribal Council.
11th person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Julie, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 11 sees Andrea saying she wants Matt to come back, but she says there's no way he will trust her again. Well, duh. She also feels guilty because Matt openly expresses wanting to quit at the duel because he feels so broken. But the real issue with everything is that she says all of these thoughts out loud to everyone, including Rob. Rob says, just what I thought. Andrea hasn't learned a thing and she needs to go next. Grant wins immunity and I will not waste your time or mine as we already know Zapatera is done for. So Ralph is voted off and Jeff says, surprise, we're holding an impromptu immunity challenge right now, followed by another vote off. So Rob wins that immunity and Steve is voted off, meaning no more Zapatera are left in the game. So again, I ask, what is the game plan here? I completely, truly, honestly don't know, but Andrea says she's excited they finally get to vote off one of their own. Does she even know? Does she even know what's about to happen? Anyways, here's a secret scene between her and Philip.
Yeah, what you say? Oh, it's your back comfort. It does feel tight. I need you to sit a little straighter like that for a second.
What's going on over there?
She's getting a massage without interruption.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Philip likes to give massages, especially to me. And at first I was like, this is creepy, but he's actually a very good masseuse. And in a weird way, it was kind of enjoyable.
Is that too hard?
Yeah.
That's the first time I've been able to give the massage because the other girls don't let me touch them. So I was surprised when Andrea said, you can give me a massage.
I don't care if Andrea says it was the best massage she's ever had in her life. I would never in a million years let him massage my back.
And that is massage 101.
Thank you. That actually helps a lot.
Okay.
I know that it is Philip, and he is creepy and a little weird, but it's kind of worth it.
Something I will credit Andrea for is that she's more willing to accept Philip than the other ladies who clearly despise him. We then see them get the coveted Sprint phone with videos from home, and Andrea of course loves seeing her dad. But here's a big twist. The loved ones comes down to who wins the Redemption Island duel. So when Mike wins, he gets to decide everything.
Before you guys embrace, you have a decision to make. If you want, you can forego your own love with your mom by giving the love instead to the 2 guys you've been living with out here on Redemption Island. Your second choice is you can instead give love to everybody left in this game.
Yesterday I was reading, it was either Matthew or Mark, and Jesus was asked, of all the commandments, what are the greatest? And he responded, love your brother like you would love yourself. So I think if I give the most good to the most people and make friends from enemies, I think that's the only play here.
I gotta tell you, I thought the odds of that happening were less than 0.
Wow, I am not sure I would have done the same thing. During the loved one's visit, we do not hear from Andrea or her dad at all, but we do hear from Rob when he says that if Andrea loses immunity, then she's going to be the next to go. So of course, Rob wins immunity, where he literally carries his family on his back. That's what Jeff Probst said. And at tribal council, she tells Jeff, yeah, I feel safe. Why? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So they all vote, and
14th person voted out. Andrea. Andrea, the tribe has spoken.
I know that you hate me, and I know that every time I come to the duel, you give me these dirty looks.
I don't give you dirty looks. I
yes,
just don't know why you're giving me big puppy dog eyes.
You hate me, and you give me these evil looks.
I don't give you evil looks. Come on, you voted against me, and I tried to get you to go with them.
Well, you should have been a little more decisive because you came in and you were so wish-washy. You went up and had a heart-to-heart with Rob and was like, hey, Andrea and I were planning on blindsiding you, but we're not going to anymore. Throwing me under the bus. They're like, what's your deal with Matt? They're like, 1 minute you feel bad and 1 minute you don't feel bad. They're like, you can't make up your mind about him. And I was like, why would Matt trust me ever
I'm
again?
sorry for ruining your Survivor game and throwing you under the bus and everything.
We're not going to support people.
She sleep on the ground. We emerged. They kept their tents, their tarp. Now it's good for her to serve what I had to go through. Rob was using you like toilet paper. He wiped his ass and had his foot with you.
what can I say except that what Ralph said to her makes me laugh out loud every time I see it. So it is unfortunate when he is eliminated. Great for Andrea though. It is finale time, and with Grant arriving at redemption because that's the next one to get betrayed by Rob, Andrea has to beat him, Mike, and Matt to re-enter the game. This will be one tough battle. She says, yeah, I am the underdog, but I think I can handle it. So it is time. Who will come back into the game?
Just like that, we are on. Very simple challenge. Keep that vase balanced at the end of your board. When your vase drops off, you're out. 1 hour, you've been balancing a vase on the end of a board. And with that, Matt is out of this challenge and out of this game. Mike drops his vase.
Good job, buddy.
Andrea stays alive and will re-enter this game and continue her quest for the $1 million prize and the title of Sole Survivor.
Here we go again. This time Andrea is coming in guns a-blazing. She has nothing to lose. But we're kind of right back to where she started from when she decided not to flip on Ometepe. It feels like we kind of just time travel back to a couple episodes ago when it still doesn't matter. No one here wants to flip on Rob. She tries telling the other girls how people at Redemption say they're gonna vote for Philip, which she tells us that's a bunch of lies. I'm just making this stuff up. But these girls don't care either way. On the plus side, Rob has some sort of weird vendetta against Ashley, so he wants her gone first. Oh well, that is a pleasant surprise. Maybe Andrea has a chance. Ashley then wins immunity, so Andrea does not have a chance. Here's a tidbit of information I left out prior. Back in the pre-merge, Rob got the idol from their camp, and heads up, he has to use it at the next tribal council. So no matter what Andrea does here in terms of targeting him, it's going to fail. She waited too long. So when they all go to vote,
you know what? My mother always told me, better be safe than sorry.
This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast against Rob will not count. First vote, Rob, does not count. Andrea, that's 2 votes, Andrea. 16th person voted out, Andrea, once again, Travis spoken.
I'm actually rooting for Rob left in the game. He played the best strategic game. He really had us all, working in this Ometepe tribe. The girls could have done something tonight. They could have made a move, and I would actually had a little more respect for them, but, they sat pretty and didn't budge. So, I'm rooting for Rob.
So let's break this down. How is Andrea as a character? Andrea is portrayed as a hard worker with charisma, and honestly, she would have shined had she been on a regular season without 2 returnees that suffocated the rest of the cast. Out of 12 character moments shown on the show, 6 were heroic and 6 were villainous, making Andrea a polarizing character on Survivor Redemption Island. Now, how is Andrea as a strategist? I am personally conflicted. On one hand, we saw how things were going on Ometepe, So when she adapted her game accordingly to survive, I thought, that's a great move. Had she actually made a move in the post-merge though, I would be singing her praises, but she didn't do that. She just kind of sat on her hands. And nothing frustrates me more as a viewer than someone who just sits on their hands. Even when she successfully returned to the game, she was way too late in trying to get Rob out because, again, she had sat on her hands for way too long. Out of 37 strategic moments shown on the show, 20 were smart and 17 were dumb, making Andrea a smart strategist on Survivor Redemption Island. Thanks for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you all next time.